Welcome back. Kewal Handa joining us now on focusing on the pharma space, really. Kewal, good morning. Good to have you with us. Given what we've been seeing on some of those pharma majors, and just a brief pause, they've just been up and running again. Do you feel it's time for a re-rating when it comes to pharma? Yet another re-rating, I should say.
Well, I think it's not the right time to really take a stock of the pharmaceutical performance because we are passing through COVID. And obviously, in terms of domestic sales, a lot of companies are struggling because there are no procedures happening. OPD is not functioning fully. Only those companies which are really doing exports are the ones are showing better traction. So I guess we should look at pharma not from the current situation, but we should look at what companies are going to do now, taking advantage of two fantastic schemes the government has come, one for API and one for the complex generics. I think this is what we need to talk about and then look at which are the pharma companies are going to be now the global player taking advantage of these government schemes.
Sure. Kewal, do you feel that what we are seeing in pharma currently is more of a structural change and a story where we're actually seeing some key shifts for the industry?
See, shifts are bound to happen for the industry and consolidation is bound to happen. And we have seen some pre and even during the COVID period, some type of consolidation and shift. But what shift is the business shift. And that is the shift we need to talk about is what type of API players now want to play in the global arena. Is it going to be Arvindo or is going to be somebody else that is going to be a global player? Who are the great formulators in India? Is it going to be the Sun? Is it going to be Zydus? It's going to be Natco? Who are going to be the global players today? I think those are the things we need to bet on. And I think that's the shift we will see now that happening. And as I said, these two government schemes will force the pharma companies to look at it and then put their strategy in place for the future in the next 5 years where they want to be. And I can see clear signs of few companies actually planning to be a global players now.
Kewal, hi there, morning. Just give us a sense as to what you believe some of the key risks would be that present themselves for the pharma sector that could be a roadblock to growth.
I think some of the the roadblockers is, let's say, how China reacts to the various incentives the government has given and how China reacts to what is happening in India. To give you just an example, the Chinese have reduced the API to the pre-COVID area. However, the key starting materials or the intermediate that goes into the API, which also comes from China, their costs have been increased. As a result of which, what is happening is that the Indian companies, if they want to compete with the Chinese companies globally on API, will find it not cost effective because the key ingredients have gone up. Now, this is where the key challenge comes in, and this is where I think the Indian companies need to be aware of. There is going to be reaction. There is going to be the Chinese bouncing back. And therefore, the government plays a very important role. Government should now start looking at how do we really make our Indian companies more competitive going forward. What is that they need to do to make them more competitive? It's like really bringing a child up for the next 5 years. And when the child grows up, I think it will become very big globally. I think this is a very critical phase for a lot of the pharma companies.
Right. Thanks very much, Kewal, for sharing with us your insights.